In this video, we're going to talk about 3 key performance indicators to improve your bottom position of the back squat, front squat, clean, or whenever you need a down bottom position pushing against any weight. Let's go. So I just finished off my squatting. It was just like a heavy set of 3 at 215. I don't know what this is in pounds. I guess it's close to 500 pounds, something like that. And I usually like to do them at home, especially when Isabel's able to support me, so I'm not thinking about dropping the weight. And when thinking about squatting and thinking about getting stronger out of the bottom position, I usually think about 3 key performance indicators. The first one especially is the mobility and the movement competence you already own. So how well can you move inside the back or the front squat, and how is your mobility? Loading your squat, in my opinion, is definitely one of the most essential things when thinking about getting stronger, getting even better in your squat, getting more mobility and getting a better movement pattern. So loading your squat is definitely always beneficial. But if your bottom position, deep bottom position, the end range of motion is not comfortable for you and you're not really mobile, you're not feeling comfortable down there, you should not think about getting quick out there out of the bottom position, and especially not thinking about getting quick out of the bottom position when overloading or loading to a degree your movement quality can usually not support. Key performance indicator number 1, how is your mobility, and are you able to be comfortable down in the bottom squat position, and are you able to push against the weight through the entire movement down the position? Are you able to keep that spinal pressure and keep that spine upright to have maximum force production and not losing your tension in the upper back or the core or even in the hips? Collapsing your knees into the middle too much wouldn't be optimal as well. So number 1 is definitely movement quality and being mobile and strong enough to support a down bottom position. Then the second factor when we think about getting stronger and quicker out of the bottom position of the squat, back squat, front squats, or especially even the clean, is about using that stretch reflex of the muscle and the joint. So when you're getting to full range of motion where your muscles are stretched the most, the tendons usually are the thing that are the most resistant in your body. So when you pull the tendons, they pull back. And this pulling back when your muscle is stretched to full degree is called stretch reflex. So when pulling the muscle to its full length, to full range of motion, the passive structure, the tendons, the hard tendons that aren't pulled so easily as the muscles are, they are pulling back. So when you get to full range of motion and your muscles at full range of motion and the tendons pull back, there's a lot of more force created than would just be created when you would stop at a certain degree of your movement, not going to full range of motion and then trying to be here and just pulling it back by your muscles. So the stretch reflex gives you more power. That's probably the reason why Olympic weightlifters go always to full range of motion, especially in the squats, in the front squats, in the snatch and clean jerks, because that stretch reflex gives you the opportunity to use your passive structures to produce more force. But at the same point, it's also overloading the structure at the highest degree. So stretching your fibers of the tendons is definitely the hardest impact into the muscle. So you have to be confident about being able and increasing load there, really consistent and not overloading too quickly to not hurt yourself. But that's always a thing about getting stronger and better. At some point you're always overloading your body, and it could always happen that you get injured someday at some point, but it's usually the same thing as going out of your home's door and you could, I don't know, have a car accident or something like that. So thinking about that stretch reflex and using it really confident and really conscious, thinking about going deep into the squat and especially thinking about getting slow down, so pull that muscle slow to full range of motion, and then thinking about always standing up really explosive and really quick to let the muscles snip together as fast as possible, and profit from that stretch reflex that benefits the force production, because force production is the most important thing, especially in squats. When you're lowering the weight, you're basically putting on the brakes on a movement, you're stretching that muscle, and you're getting to full stretch reflex potential. And when you're starting to press again, you want to do it as hard as possible, and always think about squatting as fast as possible. You won't be fast. Absolutely, you will never be fast at maximum loads, but thinking about being the quickest as possible means that you're contracting the muscles as hard as possible and as much fibers as possible at the same point, and that means you're able to move the maximum load and using that stretch reflex together with all those muscle fibers. And especially at full range of motion, at the bottom position, that's the situation where you need all your fibers and that stretch reflex to get quickly out of there. And especially when catching a clean or going back into a squat that's heavyweight, or maybe PR, or maybe something you have never done or something you haven't done in a while, it's pretty important to not lose tension down there, and being able to get down and stand up immediately without losing any core tension that possibly could hurt yourself, or you're just losing those tension. You're just losing that tension and that core tension you need to be able to produce the most force, and using all the energy, all the potential energy that is created by stretching the muscles. When losing your core tension down there, and that's also a second, third, point, you have to keep that movement quality going down, especially even in the clean, catching down and standing up immediately. Whenever you're stuck there, you're probably wasting energy and wasting tension. That's why technique in weightlifting is so important, to keep movement quality at the highest possible point, to not waste energy. It's all about efficiency, using stretch reflexes, using all muscle fibers together, and having a most high quality movement to being able to produce the most force by less possible energy. So having most energy production and the least possible energy wasting will be the most produced force into any movement. And number 3 is definitely, are your muscles strong enough? Are your tendons strong enough? Are all those muscle groups you need to be strong in Olympic weightlifting, or especially squatting, strong enough? Is your groin strong enough? Is your quad strong enough? Is your core strong enough? Is your glute strong enough? What about the hamstrings? Do you prep and do you train your weaknesses? If you know you're starting above the parallel position of the squat, and that's your sticking point, it's probably kind of your hamstring issue. Do you train your hamstring separately? And I don't always say that you have to do Romanian deadlifts all the time, or you just have to do functional stuff. You can use machines as well. You can do prone hamstring curls in machines. You can do prone leg extensions in machines. You can use machines to overload and isolate muscles. And I do program a lot of those things for a lot of weightlifters, because it's easy to overload your weaker joints, your weaker muscles, and your weaker movements. So think about getting stronger in all those parts you need for the movement, and try to find out what's your weakness. And if you have any question about how to find out what's your weakness is in the squat, front squat, snatch, clean, jerk, just drop a comment down below and I will do separate videos on this. But the 3 key performance indicators about getting stronger out of the bottom position of your squat is, number 1 is the mobility. Are you mobile enough to be confident and to have the highest possible movement quality to get out of there efficiently and quickly? Number 2 is using the stretch reflex at full range of motion of your muscles. Being able to use stretch reflex of the tendons and maximum contraction of the muscles at the same point without losing core tension down there, and being able to use the most energy created without wasting anything to have the most produced force is, bringing the most velocity, the most speed to your bar immediately, and that makes moving a bar much easier. Number 3, do you train your weakness? Do you overload weakness muscle groups? Do you train muscle groups separately? You know that are your weaknesses. And training weaknesses is always a thing that sucks. But at the bigger picture, when you need those and they get stronger and they are stronger, you're able to perform better. You probably will find out next weaker spots, or maybe when the one weakness isn't a weakness anymore, you have another weakness. But that's the whole game. You have to be always searching for weaknesses to improve and always searching for some things that help you improve your strengths as well. And if you have got any question about that, that's what this whole channel is about. I'm Fritz from My Performance Coaching, strengths performance coach from Berlin, Germany. And this channel is about getting stronger for the sport of Olympic weightlifting, especially for CrossFit and your field sports as well. So I played European handball for a long time, and I'm coaching a lot of rugby, American football, soccer and basketball players in getting more force. And especially for you, for all of you, having a full range of motion, getting stronger out of the bottom position of a squat is one of the best things you can have to have higher performance in all your field sports and in the sport of Olympic weightlifting and CrossFit as well. So that was vlog number 2 of the second season, my first ever English vlog season on this channel. And if you liked that video and if you got any benefit, please give it a thumbs up, because that helps a lot, and subscribe to the channel if you watch this video the first time. That would really be appreciated. So that's where I leave it. 3 key performance indicators to improve your squat out of the bottom position. If you've got any questions, just drop a comment down below. I hope you will have a great next training session, and I hope I will see you down here to a next video.